Hey guys, Ryan here, one half of Blood and Black Rum podcast. We're trying something out a little bit different this time. We wanted to try to do some throwbacks to episodes that we've done previously because, let's face it, it's all evergreen content. And we thought that one of the best ways to do this was to post some episodes that we've done that are topical, timely. And with Easter right around the corner, it's a perfect time to start it out with an episode that we recorded back in 2022 about Critters 2, the main course. Now in the episode you'll hear that we weren't huge fans of Critters 2. It's kind of fun, but it also is pretty cheesy at times, as we'll expand upon. This series was not really meant to go back and re-review movies that we've done, although we might do that at some point. But instead, it's just to revisit some episodes that may have fallen through the cracks or gone by the wayside, highlighting certain elements of our coverage that we would like to revisit. And if you like this, just let us know if you want to hear more of these classic type episodes that bridge the gap between our new episodes. We'll try to do some updates to them as well. In this case, you can hear that we've done some edits to the audio enhancements so that it sounds a little bit better than when we released it back in 2022 where we weren't doing certain types of editing. We hope you like this, either listening for the first time or revisiting a classic. Have a nice Easter, and we'll see you back for a new episode very soon. Now let's hear from past Ryan and Martin.
Hey, little buddies, come gather round. This here's the very best eating in town. A hungry heifer's place to be. A lip licking good, you can take it from me. Try a bowl of burgers, some buffalo chips. Or wash it all down with a moose shake. You pat your tummy and smack your lips. Suck for hours on your fingertips. At the Hungry Heifer, we won't give you a bum steer.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum podcast. I'm Ryan from coldsploitation.com, and I'm joined with my co-host Mark.
How's it going?
We're doing fairly well. We are back.
Good.
Yeah, pretty solid. We're back with another episode. This time, we're trying to go the seasonal route. As you may or may not know, depending on your religious observations, we have Easter coming up soon. This coming weekend, actually. Easter Sunday.
Passover as well.
That's right. We don't have a movie for that, though, unfortunately.
There probably is one.
Yeah, there probably is. We just didn't do the research to find out. We've never done an Easter movie before. There's not that many Easter movies, to be honest with you. Specifically for horror, really. A couple, Passion of the Christ we could do. But other than that, there's not too many. So our selections were few and far between. That's why we waited 7 seasons to do it. But the movie that we picked for today is...
You picked for today.
Yeah, okay, you don't even want credit for it. Is one... So to be fair, the Critter series is actually fairly well received by cult film fans. There is a whole faction of cult film fans that are very immersed in Critters lore.
Wow, what a life.
You spend your days thinking about the Critters movies, hoping for a new one to come out at some point.
Like, oh, God. Please, please, please.
You, on the other hand, are going to now spend your days hoping that another one does not come out.
Yeah, probably.
Leave those fucking critters in space where they belong. So this film, and I should say the whole Critter series, has a unique take on the horror movie because generally horror movies go to space when they don't know what else to do. Critters bring space to Earth when it doesn't know what to do instead. So the whole premise of Critters, and you've never seen the original Critters, right?
No.
The whole premise of the original Critters is almost identical to Critters 2, in the fact that there's a small town, there's the kid from Critters 2 who lives in this small town, and critters come from space, and they terrorize his family in their, small town home, and they have to figure out a way to get rid of these critters, and there's bounty hunters from space that come and try to help out, but ultimately, it's the kid and an alcoholic guy that are going to ultimately save the day. That's Critters. And then Critters 2 is like, what if we did that, but again,
They put
and
so
at
much.
Easter?
Let's say they put so much thought into it. Did you see the two posters between the two?
Mm-hmm.
They just literally slapped a 2 on it.
Right. Yeah, the movies themselves are very similar. And like I said, the main crux of the differences is that Critters 2 takes place during the Easter holiday, which is not really doesn't play that big of a role in the film. There's a couple of instances of Easter seeping into the ideas that are at play, but for the most part, the movie is really like just another first film redux, and there are a few things that they change about the way that the critters operate and the bounty hunters and things like that. But other than that, like this could be this could have been the first movie all over again. They really don't do that much to change it up. So I thought I'd give you a brief rundown of what happens in Critters, just so you know, because clearly you need to know what happens in Critters to understand Critters 2, of course. Otherwise, how can you understand the nuances in this movie that really set it apart from other movies about little critter things like Gremlins and the Ghoulies? Have you seen? You've seen Gremlins,
Yeah, we did it for the podcast, and it's a Christmas staple.
right? In Gremlins 2, you've seen.
Yes.
Have you seen?
That's got the Hulkster, baby.
Of course, you've seen it then.
That's what this film could have used. Let me tell you something, brother.
It could have used the Hulk. Yeah, that's right. How about, have you seen Ghoulies?
No, hold on. Not the Hulk. Hulk Hogan. The Hulkster. The immortal Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, the Hulk.
Yeah, no, that's no.
The Hulk.
No, that's Marvel.
You mean
It's like-
it doesn't have
Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah. It doesn't have Lou Ferrigno?
Ed Norton?
But you've never seen Ghoulies.
No.
Okay. They, so like during this time, there was a lot of movies that came out of like little critter thingies that would not generally be that scary, except they amass together and cause mischief.
How do you spell Ghoulies?
Ghoullies. And can you turn down your volume just a tad?
Sorry.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. Maybe I should just talk quieter. But for the most part, this time frame was when a lot of these movies were coming out, and Gremlins being one of the first. They really copied the ideas from Gremlins. Critters kind of spun off of that with having like the space element to it. And it kind of was a little bit of a uniqueness. And actually, Critters, the first movie, is really worth a watch. It's not a terrible movie. It does have like the tongue-in-cheek humor, maybe not as much as Critters 2. But it's actually worth a watch because it is a fairly good movie. With pretty good Critters effects. Ghoulies is a really goofy movie, as you can probably see from the poster. It like kind of takes the Gremlins approach and then runs wild with it with a more like raunchy element to it, which again spawned a few different sequels, surprisingly, because with these movies it's really difficult to figure out what to do with them after you've already presented one movie of these little things running rampant. Like, how can you continually have them get into more mischief? But this was a time where they really focused on these little things. Even to the extent of, puppets too, like Puppet Master, was fairly big at, around the same time too. So little things that would hurt you was pretty popular around this time frame. And Critters 2 got a sequel, and interestingly enough, Mick Garris is the director on this. And if you don't know Mick Garris, he's done a couple major things, Critters 2 being one of them, working on a number of shorts for like Amazing Stories, which was a TV show back in the 80s that was sort of like Tales from the Crypt, except less about horror and more about like just, odd things that happen in life. He did Hocus Pocus, which is probably his major standout film. And other than that, he didn't really have a whole lot of other works that were, major films. And even then, like Hocus Pocus was only written by Mick Garris. A lot of things he wrote, not a lot of things directed. So it is interesting that Mick Garris helmed this movie, and also co-wrote it. And it does have a lot of similarities to Hocus Pocus. The small town atmosphere, the focus on horror, but that's sort of like goofy and comical and, a little bit, comedic. But other than that, it is kind of interesting to see Mick Garris directing this one. 'Cause it's just not really his bag.
Did you really just compare Critters 2 to fucking Hocus Pocus?
Yeah.
Wow. There's going to be a whole lot of people mad with you.
Why? Because I disparaged Hocus Pocus, or because Critters 2 has not that much in common with Hocus Pocus?
Because you're disparaging Hocus Pocus.
Well, you know what? I do like Hocus Pocus. It's a great Halloween movie that we've not done yet, have we?
No.
So that's probably on the docket.
No, you know what? No. I'm fine. If there's ever been a cow beaten to death by the millennials, it's Hocus Pocus.
Well, we're getting a second one too, so.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah, well, a long-awaited sequel. And not just the Disney sequel version, too, that someone wrote a book about.
Say the ghost of Bette Midler's going to be in it by the time they finally wrap it up.
Yeah. So, all right. With all that introduction out of the way for Critters 2.
You gave a more storied preamble to Critters 2 than I think you have for more important films.
I came in prepared, and I gave a nice little background essay about it, right? So here's everything I know about Critters 2. Well, and honestly too, I did watch quite a bit of like extra features on Critters 2 because I did get the Critters box set from Screen Factory for review a long time ago.
They're not giving you free fucking Blu-rays for you to skimp on the extras.
That's right. So I watched them all, and that's how I know. This is, But yeah, I did give a lot of good information for anybody who's interested. Critters 2. So with that said,
what a life.
With that said,
I'm just curious to what was going on in your life in 1988, like going to your local video store and being like, this is it. This is the thing that has changed my life. But then again, it's the same thing with Leprechaun, and it still has 6 sequels. So somebody out there's like, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Critters has a really large following, and that is in part due to like the work of the Kyoto brothers on this, who are pretty well known for their special effects work. So they did the Critters effects, and they did do the Critters effects on most of the movies. And I don't know if you're probably not familiar with them. But they also did some work on movies like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is another cult classic. They did Team America: World Police, just so you're aware.
Yeah, I'm looking at there.
Yeah, and a few others from the late '90s,
Elf.
early '90s. Yeah, and when you do special effects, especially for movies that aren't really known that well for special effects, you probably don't realize that they did them, but yeah, they did. They're pretty well known for some of the different movies, and that's part of the reason why Critters has such a following, because of the actual special effects, the Critters puppeteering work.
Well, they did the claymation for UHF, so that's caught my eye.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You ever see UHF?
I have not.
Wow.
No, I have not seen it.
Wow.
I'll have to check it out at some point. I know it's a good movie. All right, so we've done enough intro for Critters 2. Let's
just wrap the episode up right now.
We did it all. I talked about it. We're good. Let's skip it. No, we'll go into our beer talk right now. We've got a new beer on the show today. One that has caught our attention, caught our eye, and I've been speaking a lot. I'll let you take over for the beer.
Thank you. I didn't know when you would shut the hell up.
That's probably some of the comments on our episodes.
As I take a nice swig of the beer. So, Ryan had caught an eye at our local beverage center. A beer from a brewery that I think we've done a couple of times on the podcast. If not, shame on us. But it's a brewery that we like, that's local in the Vermont area. That as much as we like, we don't really experience as much as we should. I'm talking about Fiddlehead. And if you've ever had their IPA, you know what Fiddlehead's IPA is all about, because it's a dank, wonderful, hoppy mess. But that's usually like all we really get from them. That and the second fiddle. So it was kind of nice to see that they have recently put out a white ale, Belgian white ale. Which isn't really a white ale, it's a golden ale.
I don't think I've ever had the second fiddle, to be honest with you.
I haven't either. I've seen it, but I just haven't.
Yeah, I think really the only thing that I have had from them is just their regular.
We've had others. I say we've had a couple others. I was looking at my check-in.
Really?
On the Untapped, yeah.
I guess I didn't realize.
But, so yeah, they got a nice Belgian gold ale out right now called Aetherium. In 12 packs. I imagine they have more offerings, in spite of what their website says. The website just kind of mentions the regular Fiddlehead IPA, the second fiddle. So, what you want in a nice Belgian gold ale is like with like almost every other Belgian beer that you want to be drinking, like your saisons and farmhouse ales and doubles, etc. You want nice, bright, golden, light, yet sweet coriander, orange peel, all those nice Belgian notes. And this beer, why it does that? It's delightful. And if you listen to the podcast, you know, me especially, big fan of Belgian style beers. I think it's something that doesn't get done enough, and to see Fiddlehead do a golden ale, it's very good. It's refreshing. It's light and crispy. It has all the notes that you'd want from a fine Belgian ale. Has a little bit of like it's not exactly like super dank, but it's got like a little dank and a little tanginess to it at the end. But it's still very good, and I would definitely buy this more often if they keep it around as like a year-round offering.
Yeah, the Aetherium wit is a very drinkable beer. It's good for spring. It's and we tend to think of like wet wheat beers being, towards the early season of summer, spring, because they are so drinkable. But with the weedy flavor that kind of sets it apart from a very, citrusy, strong summer beer. This one I think is a really a pretty good take on the wit. It is a very, very pale color, almost, it's definitely like the unfiltered wheat style, but it's got like almost like a whitish, I don't know, like a whitish hue to it that sets it apart from like your standard like yellow pale. And ultimately the taste of this is very good because you do get those coriander notes, you do get that orange peel right at the first taste, the first part of your sip. Towards the end, I end up getting a very strong wheat flavor to it that kind of stands out on the aftertaste. That I think is maybe a little bit too pronounced because it overshadows the coriander and orange here, to the point where like the end of the beer on the palate just tastes like wheat. And that's not what I'm looking for in a white beer like this. I'm looking for a more balanced approach to that with the coriander, orange, and wheat kind of offsetting each other, where you don't get a strong flavor of one of those things at the end, because again, I wouldn't want a really strong flavor of coriander at the end either. That would be too overpowering. Orange is okay because you can kind of get away with that with the citrus flavor, but I do wish that the wheat was just a little bit more balanced into the beer. Otherwise, though, I do think it is a really drinkable beer. It has a fairly low ABV, 5.3% on the lower side, so it is, sessionable. So overall, I think it's a pretty interesting experiment from Fiddlehead, who, for the most part, makes IPAs. So to have them come out with like a wit like this is kind of interesting. And I'm for it. I definitely can see myself drinking more of these. I just wish they were able to balance the wheat out a little bit. Certainly not for the gluten intolerant, I will say that. Stay far away. You'll be breaking out in hives and having anaphylactic shock.
God, it must suck to have celiacs.
Well, you know what? I'm never sure if I have it or not. Like sometimes I feel like I could. That would suck for me, but I probably wouldn't stop drinking beer. That's the thing. They'd be like, "Yo, you have celiacs. You've got to really cut down on, your wheat and gluten intake." I'd be like, "I don't think I can. I have a show to do. This show requires me to drink beer." Yeah. All right.
Well, no, I feel like that too. Like that, and I'm also like lactose intolerant, but at the same time, it's like, give me the...
You know what, though? Sometimes you just can't tell.
Give me the onion roll, a beer, and some cheese.
Yeah, you can't tell. It's like, am I actually intolerant, or is my body just shitty now? You just never know. You're getting older, and in your 30s, your body might just be shitty at doing those things now. It's been ragged on for so long. It's just like, I'm giving up.
At work, I bought a bag of Flamin' Hot, like, Cool Ranch Doritos, and, that, should have done that.
That's like how I was saying, I used to be all against drinking whiskey over ice. I was like, oh, it's just watering down your whiskey. Why would you do that? Why don't you want the full experience of just drinking it straight? And now I've gotten to my age where I'm like, one sip with not over the rocks is like, I feel like I'm going to die.
Oh yeah, making fun of me all these years, and now look at you.
So now I understand, why you would put it over ice, because your body is shitty.
I would say an old man, figured it out a long time ago. Like,
yeah.
Here's how to make your fire water a little bit more palatable.
Maybe I won't scorch my entire esophagus. All right, let's.
But are you really doing a shot of rye if you're not, getting that pepper buckshot into your throat.
It's true. It's true. All right, let's get into Critters 2. Let's talk about it. I know you're raring to go about it. You were 110% into this movie. I can tell because I get text messages when Martin is watching the movies because he generally tends to watch the movies after me, especially when we're not doing them in person like we have been for like a couple of years now. We haven't watched the movies together, which we used to do. We used to watch the movie, then do the podcast together. But because of plague and because, the people around Martin are not very good about maintaining distance and not getting everyone in their close proximity sick, we don't do things together anymore.
We won the war on COVID.
Martin has not been invited into the Barber household anymore.
Oh yeah. I say that too because he had a KFC meal the other day, family meal.
You weren't invited.
They didn't invite me over for some biscuits and coleslaw. That was
That's right.
Very neighborly of them.
But because we don't watch the films together, Martin often texts me, and I get like a live tweeting session of like, oh, this thing happened and this thing happened, and
it's not just to let you know, but it's a way for me to take notes.
Oh, I know. But I knew that this film went over, like a bag of cat piss because I didn't get very many texts about it. I got a couple, but ultimately there were not very many notes about this movie. And you always know that you're in for a good time and you don't have any notes about the movie.
What do you got? I watched something that was put to film.
Mm-hmm. And that happens from time to time, right? Like, I feel like this movie sits very well into the leprechauns. And
yes, it does.
You know what I mean? Like the same type of feeling of movie that is really taxing to watch. And like, I don't know that I can really put a good finger on why these movies are not that fun to watch. I guess it's just because they don't really have that much going on in them to even entertain you. But I feel like this sits right in that scope of like Leprechaun movies too. It's very, very similar in the approach.
If you were to look up the word drudgery in the dictionary, films like this would be smack. You get a list of films like this, like the Leprechaun comparison is so apt. The entire time watching this, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching a fucking Leprechaun movie. It just...
I don't know if you've ever seen like the Wishmaster sequels either.
No.
But it sits
Why would I?
Right, it's right in those ones too. We're gonna do those at some point. We're gonna do Wishmaster 3 at some point. But
God, how bad was college for you? Were you?
I have the series on Blu-ray to be honest with you.
Just sitting around like, oh, what are we gonna do this week, honey? Am I gonna get drunk and play the bongos? No, we're gonna watch the Wishmaster. All 9 films.
Yeah, no, or even the Hellraisers for that matter, like the later Hellraisers. They all.
I know, but at least I haven't. Like I said, I haven't seen a single Hellraiser. But at least from what I have heard, at least the first, Clive Barker film is like, this is something I can get behind.
Absolutely, like the first 3.
Because I mean, we've talked about that in like almost because we have done an inordinate amount of series on this podcast. How you always have like a first film that's like really good, and then it just like by the third film they've already fallen off the fucking wagon. Here, it's like you weren't even on the apple cart to begin with. You weren't on the wagon. You had nothing. You didn't have a pot to piss in, but yet you somehow made it, came out with more than what you should have.
Yeah. So you recently watched the movie, right? Like you watched it literally just hours ago. Why do you think that this movie just feels so long and, fairly boring to watch? Like, what would you pinpoint it down to?
Just not much happens in the film.
Mm-hmm.
it's like for an 85-minute film, this is like terribly paced. Takes like half an hour to get anywhere. And even when you get, to like the critters showing up, they don't do anything that's like fun or exciting. Like,
I think that's really, I think you're right. Like that's definitely part of it. It takes about a half an hour for the bounty hunters to actually show up to Earth.
I don't give a shit about fucking Danny Bonaducci showing up to buttfuck nowhere to see Grandma on Easter. Like, oh, and the meat's bad. Oh, because the critters from last fucking time. Here's these weird ostrich eggs. Everybody play with these weird ostrich eggs.
I wasn't sure who you were talking about at first with the Danny Bonaducci reference until now. Now I understand who you're talking about. Yeah,
the kids Danny Bonaducci. Decaffeinated Danny Bonaducci.
Yeah,
mullet and all.
Yeah, I definitely get that, and like the one ear pierced, and yeah. You know what though? You know what? We can't fault him too much. We can't fault Scott Grimes too much. He did grow up to be Steve in American Dad, so, which is just a weird thing to have. Like, okay, he started off in Critters, and now he voices a fairly popular American television show.
Wait just a goddamn minute.
What?
Is American Dad actually popular, or is
Yeah,
it just
no, it is. Yeah, it's been around for like, it's actually now I believe more popular than Family Guy. It's been around for like 18 seasons.
So that's not hard to do these days. Like, networks just don't know when to fucking say like, all right, enough's enough.
No, it's definitely more popular than Family Guy
show?
now, and the Cleveland Show. Honestly, too, not only is he an actor, he's also a singer. He has a single or something.
Oh, he was on Party of Five.
Yeah,
everyone's favorite Nev Campbell.
And
vehicle.
He's from fairly close to us, Lowell, Mass. He might as well be our neighbors.
So when are we going to do the Party of Five season reviews?
We'll have to start a new podcast for that.
We'll just do 90. Wait, hold on. Not to get off the beaten track here, but we were talking yesterday about your shitty Barber household 90s sitcom lineup. Becker, Frasier. What else?
Just Shoot Me, Spin City.
Dharma and Greg.
Dharma and Greg.
Spin City's good. It's done by the same guy who created Scrubs, so.
Yep, that was the household. But all right, so anyway, we're way off. So I think that's the problem. The bounty hunters don't show up till quite late into the film. The critters don't really have much to do until because it takes them a while to hatch. And so for the first 30 minutes or so of this movie, we're subjected to some really abysmal character development, wherein we learn that it's a small town. It kind of hits all the tropes of like the late 80s movies that were doing this sort of thing. Small town, kid comes through, he gets bullied. There's a female love interest here. And it has all this like hokiness to it too, like almost like TV drama family hokiness to it, because it does have something of the intention of being comedic and somewhat sarcastic, but at the same time, it doesn't really come off that well. I don't think the comedy really works that well at all. It's like very light comedy.
It's just random like cursing and shit.
I do think that the best parts of this movie, though, occur unintentionally. Like the entire beginning of the movie where we have an antiques dealer who gets called out by the punk kid in town because he's found some eggs. So like giant eggs that are just, in a barn. And he gets called out, and the antiques dealer is like, well, you know what? I normally deal in bicycles and, bureaus and, bed frames.
pawned wedding rings. You
Yeah,
know.
but you know what? No, you know what? I will. I'll try to sell these eggs for some reason. Like,
I've heard a quail egg tastes pretty damn good.
I just don't understand the appeal. Like, normally you get like somebody like, you know, let's take the American Pickers for just shits and giggles.
God.
Like, we're gonna call the American Pickers up. Like, I've got some weird eggs in my barn. Like, call a fucking veterinarian. Hangs up.
No, they would come around. Yeah, we got an episode. We drove all the way out from buttfuck Iowa out to buttfuck Kansas, and this guy's got like probably $2,500 worth of eggs. He doesn't know what he's got though. I offered him a quarter.
Yeah. We're gonna incubate these eggs, and eventually have ourselves a little quail farm.
But right as they were about to, you know, go and get there and buy those eggs, the Tuttles came in and were like, "Hey, we'll get you an Orange County bike if you fucking give us those eggs."
I just don't understand though. Like, what is this antique dealer gonna do with these eggs? Like, it's not part of his wheelhouse to sell these eggs. Not only that,
why is he here? Because because Gremlins. That's why.
Right,
Oh,
right.
they had ancient Chinese Mystic Man. Well, here's the white man version of it. The pawn shop broker.
Here's guy drinking in truck with random generic beer can.
Oh, I love that's like the one thing about this film that I love, that they actually went full. They leaned into it, like, you know how like we always talk about like oh, what like would
Going
be
into the
generic?
bar and just saying like, I'll take a beer.
Yeah,
I'll take beer.
Yeah, I'll take a beer. You know, here they literally wrote on the can beer. And it's
Yeah, like capital letters, Arial font, beer. It's a white can too. It's like going to like the simple goods store. Like, the butter says butter. The cereal says cereal. You don't need to know what fucking cereal it is. It's just cereal. It's straight up grain. And then we have beer. 3 ingredients: hops, water, barley. We don't even know the combination. We just make it up as we go. Just pour some in to the vat. Ferment
that
it.
is like I would say that is the best part, because they do have like a lot of Coca-Cola paraphernalia bandied about throughout the entire film. But what kind of beer is he drinking? Is it like High Life or Pabst? Nope, beer.
They do mention Meisterbrow, but the label says otherwise. Apparently, you know, set design wasn't on that day.
Why couldn't they have an actual beer on there? Yeah, they got Playboys. Like, do you think Hugh Hefner wants his, you know, his titty magazine being shown up in this film? He's probably like, no, take that away, get it out of here.
Well, you were saying you would rather a few hustlers instead. They were the more pornographic of the era. Or did you want to read Penthouse for the nice steamy letters? The kid's like, I don't care about any of those pussy shots. Give me those steamy Penthouse letters. But yeah,
would it have been something like they actually got like I mean, it's a little off the beaten path, but we find, you know, because these aliens are you know, can transform into, you know, shapeshift, and one of them sees the Playboy magazine, shapeshifts into the Playmate. Wouldn't it have been something that they actually got like an actual Playmate at the time to be in this film? Like, hey, got a great idea, Hugh. How about you give us one of your Playmates to be in the film, you know, and let's be great cross promotion.
well, I mean, Roxanne Kernahan was in Playboy.
Oh, was she?
Yep. To some extent, she did a lot of movies though. Like, she was like the person that you went to when you needed like big busty woman number 2 in your movie. You know, that was just going to be like, you know, your background shot of nudity. So she was in a few movies from the 80s, probably notably like Angel 3, which was, you know, like has now kind of come out as like the Angel series as being like the softcore porno cult film stuff that people are interested in. But yeah, she was I think she did at one time do some Playboy. I don't know if she was ever like on a cover or in the magazine itself, but she did do some Playboy. And so, I mean, so to
God damn, that film's got Maud Adams in it.
But it is interesting. Like, I think that segment too of the having the Playboy magazine where, you know, that Playboy playmate comes to life and becomes the bounty hunter. I think that's interesting. And Roxanne Kernahan is like there's two reasons to watch this movie. It's Roxanne Kernahan's double barrel breasts in this movie. Those are the two reasons right there for you. Unfortunately, she died not too long after this in 1993. She had gotten a fatal car accident, succumbed to her injuries and died. And it's really a very unfortunate because we could have had years of more Roxanne Kernahan in movies. So, sad little note about Critters 2 is that I don't think it was her last movie. No, it wasn't. Scream Queen Hot Tub Party was her last film. You don't really want Critters 2 to be your last movie, right? Like, that's...
I think God would give you a pass. Even if you had like a day to die.
Oh, it was a deadly accident. It's like, you know what? You've got... We'll find another way for you to go out.
You're like Yusuke.
Shoot one more.
You're like Yusuke and Yu Yu Hakusho in the beginning. Like, oh, that wasn't intended for you. Hold on, we're going to give you a
Hold on. Take 2 on this one. Go do another movie. Make sure it's not that Leprechaun sequel that's coming out soon, because we're not doing this again. Yeah. But, yeah, I think, like, she's, you know, that part of it, the bounty hunter element of switching bodies is kind of interesting in this movie. And that's kind of weird, too, right? Like, you don't want your movie that's titled Critters to have bounty hunters that are more interesting than the critters.
Well, the problem is they're interesting, but they do fuck all. It takes them forever to like the intro is like kind of interesting where you see them like reenacting aliens, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, so I haven't seen the original Critters, so apparently the town drunk, you know, joins these bounty hunters after the first film.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going around, you know, trying to collect these alien bounties, and they're about to collect, and the guy's like, wait, you didn't kill all the creatures on Earth from the last film. You gotta go back there and do that before you get your money. And you're like, fuck. Guess we gotta go back to Earth. And then they start heading back to Earth.
Can you imagine, though, too, being a bounty hunter, supposed to be eradicating these critters, and then you just didn't? You're still going to get paid?
Well, calling them a bounty hunter, we call them exterminators.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of are. They're not really... They're not like hunting bounties. It's not like every one of these critters is like, you know, Nub-Nubs. We're going to kill Nub-Nubs. He's worth 500,000, you know, chronoids. And we're going to kill Stinky Tooth. And we're going to kill, you know, they didn't like get individual names like a bounty. They are exterminators. Yeah, you're right. They're just like basically
not only that, they're Ghostbusters. Their backpacks are basically fucking incredibly decaffeinated versions of the Ghostbusters like packs.
But I don't know. I find it funny that, you know, they didn't do their job, and then they're not just like, get the fuck back to Earth and do your job. They're still gonna get paid, and, you know, not have any issues. But yeah, I think the bounty hunters are probably a little bit more interesting than the critters. You're right. The critters they do have interesting elements to them. When we see what they can do, they have, you know, they have a cool idea. They're little balls of fur that actually have like porcupine quill type things in them. And they're, you know, vicious little buggers that have super sharp teeth, and they pretty much just eat whatever they can find. It's an interesting idea. The film doesn't do that much with it. The critters themselves don't really get showcased. Most of the time, the puppeteering is like them scooting around in the background like fucking dust balls.
I was gonna say Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, like they're like, what do you call those? Tumbleweeds. They're like tumbleweeds in the background. That's pretty much all they do for the most part. It's like, oh, that menacing tumbleweed bouncing around somewhere. That's pretty much what they do for most of the movie, and you can kind of understand that because of the puppeteering that's required to, get most of them on screen. But when they do showcase the critters, I think it's just not enough for us to see what they actually do. Like the one example that I can think of is when they're in the buffet and like they've gotten a whole bunch of food and they're basically chowing down on the buffet and the hungry heifer. And we see like them for just a few moments where they get to actually do something in the hungry heifer, and then the bounty hunters come in blasting. So we don't really get to see their abilities or what they do. And I think that's probably much more limited in this movie than it was in the original Critters, because the original Critters had less critters in it. This movie has more because that's the whole thing with a sequel. You try to do bigger, you try to do better. But I don't know that Critters 2 really does it bigger, or at least it doesn't do it better, because there are lots of critters on screen, but they don't really do that much. And I think that's a problem with what this movie tries to do. It doesn't do that much with what the critters can do and showcase what they do. So I think that's part of the problem. Like, we just don't have a lot of stuff that the critters can do. And I think like it introduces some interesting ideas that the critters can do, like creating a giant clumping ball of critters. But
I can't help but think every time I saw them rolling around like fucking tumbleweeds, I was just like thinking of the log song from Ren and Stimpy.
Right.
Like, what rolls downstairs, rolls over in pairs, runs over your neighbor's dog. What's fit for a hat and great for a snack? It's critters, critters, critters.
Yeah, it does. Like they just don't really do that much. And I think that the Kyoto puppeteering here is not as good as the first movie either. It just doesn't showcase the critters in that good of a scope. We don't really get to see individual critters that well. There's not a lot of attack scenes with critters either. The most, I guess the biggest one is when the Easter Bunny gets eaten from the inside, where we actually get to see the critters in action and devouring somebody. I think the other better sequence is when the giant critter ball rolls over that guy that's running away, just leaving like a writhing skinned mass.
Oh, when they were in the fucking field running away, all I could think of was like, don't go into the long grass! Don't go into the long grass! From, if you don't know that reference, from Jurassic Park Lost World.
Oh, yeah. Love that scene.
It's one of my favorite. Well, I'm talking the Lost World, not this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Critters too.
What'd you think of Fred Gwynn Light in the film?
The sheriff?
Yeah.
I love him because he's so abrasive at the beginning. I do like that a lot. He's like, I'm fucking hightailing it out of here.
Do you think David Arquette took some notes for Scream 5 from this?
I hope so. No, I like him.
I say that is a great part. Like, we need your help, Sheriff. Well, I'm getting the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm out. This town's not worth it.
I like that they reference too. Like, we need a sheriff, and he's like, "You voted me out in a landslide." Which, like, if you think about it, I don't think most movies mention or bring up the fact that, like, yes, being a sheriff's an elected role.
Yeah, and then also because he was in the first movie, and kind of espoused the fact that, like, oh, they were, there was animals from outer space here, and we had to get rid of them. Where people were like, "This sheriff's lost his goddamn mind. I'm gonna vote him out." I like that. I like that idea of carrying that over from the original. I think he does a pretty good job. And I just like him being one of the sole like people that don't feel like just small town hick guys that have no bearing on the plot. He actually does, and I like that they bring him back at the end. It is funny too that at the end when everything's all said and done, and both Brad and Megan are he's getting on the bus and they're having their like heartfelt goodbye, staring at the bus, just like staring at them, waiting for them to kiss. It's like, go ahead and kiss your woman there, Brad. I'll just sit here and watch, and so you can't see my lap.
Oh, kiss that woman now, Danny Bonaducci, and ain't gonna get much better for you.
Yeah, it's just a little awkward there. He's just literally staring out, and then the movie kind of centers on him, like having a nice big giggle. Like, oh, they just made out. My favorite pastime is watching minors. No wonder they voted him out as sheriff. Had a lot of questionable things happen in the past. That was the start of cancel culture.
Right there. The pyre was lit.
All he did was show up at elementary schools.
Well, as I say, I mean, that's like a thing of like the 80s, like a lot of 80s films. Like at the end, like everyone be like, oh,
Yeah,
I kiss you. Know, it's like,
yeah.
It's like, look away, you creep.
I know. Like, look away. I wanted to cop a boob.
Avert your eye. Oh, hey, as Randall says in Clerks 2. Avert your eyes, you perv.
All right, so you said you thought Megan was like a decaf who?
Winnie Cooper.
Winnie Cooper. See, I don't really see that. I see Sandra Bullock. I see like Speed era Sandra Bullock, but she's even younger still.
How dare you? No, she's not Speed. One, Megan does more in this film than Sandra Bullock does in Speed. Sandra Bullock doesn't do anything in Speed except, oh no, we're gonna die. And then Keanu is just like, oh no, I'm gonna stop the bus. So that whole movie is carried on the shoulders of great men like Jeff Daniels and Dennis Hopper.
No, I agree. Sandra Bullock is the
To be honest with you, outside of Speed, I can't remember like any really early Sandra Bullock films.
How about Speed 2, Cruise Control?
Had that on VHS.
Yeah. No, but I mean, how about Miss Congeniality?
No,
I mean,
that's not early Sandra.
That's not early. I'm saying, so I see Leanne Curtis. She has like that Sandra Bullock face with the eyes. I really see Sandra Bullock, but just a young version of Sandra Bullock. You see Winnie Cooper. I don't really see that. Unless you're just talking about like the whole kind of sheepish
bangs.
High school girl. Yeah. What do you think of the Hungry Heifer? The restaurant. And the little ditty that they did. That's actually, I believe that's Mick Garris's wife that sings the song, maybe? I can't remember now. I know.
Often forgotten.
Yeah, it is.
Heifer includes a I.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's Mick Garris's wife that sings that jingle. At the Hungry Heifer.
It's the Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock song of the Critter film.
Right, because it actually turns out like signaling parts of the end of the movie too. Like getting them into the meat packing plant and drawing them to the Hungry Heifer so that they with a buffet. It's like
after seeing what goes on it, like what the food looks like in that meat packing plant, would you want to go to the Hungry Heifer?
No.
Like, oh, look at all these already pre-frozen burgers, even though we live in this lovely, town meant for like slaughtering cows.
Rural town, but we just deep freeze our burgers.
In chili sauce and ketchup. Oh, it's the best part about it is just the fact that Mandark's the fucking manager of the Hungry Heifer.
Yeah, and he actually becomes the bounty hunter for a little while. He has such a
recognizable
distinctive voice, yeah,
and face, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to not realize that that's him.
All I can think of in my head is like, ha 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 ha.
Also, to note too is that Bob Shea from New Line, who is the basically the major producer on most New Line movies, his daughter's in this, Lynn Shay, who plays like the newspaper reporter with the red hair, and she has snuck into a lot of New Line movies that way, just like randomly showing up because
Listen,
family.
At Miramax, you have to sleep with a Weinstein. At New Line, you just got to be a relative.
That's right. Yeah. How'd you like the reference to
Cujo?
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Wow, that yeah.
Where there was, because this is obviously there's a New Line movie too, and
wouldn't that have been great if they actually got Robert Englund to be in here?
It would have been, but I feel like that was the whole joke. It's like, no, don't. We gotta pay the man again.
They probably were gonna pay him. He's like, no, I'll pass.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but I understand why they didn't. But it's a fun little franchise crossover there.
Tie-in.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get a Nightmare on Critters?
Yeah, we got a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and all of a sudden a critter rolls around.
That's what we wanted to see. We didn't want to see Freddy versus Jason. We wanted to see Freddy versus a critter.
Yeah.
What do you think wins?
I mean, it'd probably be pretty easy to outsmart the critter in a dream world. Like fucking dream up a pit, have the critters fly into it.
No, it'd be a cheeseburger.
Yeah, put a cheeseburger in a pit, put the critters in it.
I really like that. That's a good satire on America's gluttony. How our desire for things like cheeseburgers have led us astray into being a fat, entitled people. Well done, Graders 2. You've been more thought-provoking than you thought.
What did you think about the fake out Gundam style suicide mission? That
just kamikaze.
Yeah, kamikaze that Charlie does into the massive critters ball there.
I was just thinking of taps in my head as soon as that. I was actually hoping when they exploded the Polar Burger plant that the film would just like end right there, like believe it or not, and roll credits.
You would have been happy. You would have been like, oh, thank God. No, I understand. The film just keeps going. It just
went on for like another 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, no, wait a second, they survived. Now we got to drive them all the way over here. And yeah, no, I totally understand, because I felt the same way. Like at a certain point, you're just like, will these critters just fucking die already? Like, people just find a way to get rid of them.
We have like things to do today. I will say, one of the funnier parts to me was when the AKA bully, I wouldn't really call him a bully just because he told the antique shop guy, like, yeah, here's the eggs, now give me all the beer and your Playboys. Near the end, when he's trying to escape town, you see like a part of like the electrical post is down. He's like, oh no, there's no way to get out of town. It's like, bud, you're in a fucking Jeep. That incline, like to the side, isn't that bad. You can literally just drive around it.
Yeah.
And he's capable of doing that because his Jeep is totally covered in mud. So you like when we first see him, so he obviously goes like, to the local watering hole and tears it up down there.
No, see, that's the thing about it though, is what you do when you have a Jeep like that is you go to, like, on a wet day, you go out to the just like a regular old lawn, and you start revving it, spray that mud up, and then drive it around town like you did do mudding. Makes you look like a nice big badass in your Jeep. So I think that's what most Jeep owners end up doing. No, yeah.
I don't know about you, but to me, I was laughing my ass off at that. Like,
you're just seeing like the entire road is out.
It's like
Yeah, you know what though would have been funnier is like if he attempted it and failed and then went back to town, because then afterwards he's like, "Yeah, and the whole West Side is out too. Like I tried it." He's like, "Please don't go check it out though. My Jeep couldn't handle it."
They get out there and they're like, "What the hell? My fucking Cavalier could have gotten over that, you son of."
Yeah. Find out he just couldn't do it in the Jeep. Yeah. That's about it. That's all I really got to say about Critters 2.
How'd you like the little Easter egg hunt that never happened? You know, gently laying out the little chocolate bunnies.
I love it. I love Easter. I love the searching for eggs that kids will never find, and then they'll get smelly and, stay out there for...
Are you an Easter ham family?
No, we are not an Easter ham family. Well, you know what? If my parents had it their way, then yes, they would be. We would be an Easter ham family because they actually offered that. But no, you know what we're having on Easter? We're having steak.
Wow.
Grilled up steak.
Pretty sure it's blasphemous. Listen, you're not even allowed to grill it.
Yep. That's what we're doing.
That's not a thing. There's no grilling of steak.
That's what we're doing.
Gotta do it in a pan.
We're doing grilled steak. We're doing baked potatoes.
That's not Easter at all. Wow, Jesus died and resurrected for you not to sit there with your $25 T-bones and...
No, we're not a ham family. You know what though? I'm not really an Easter person, to be honest with you. I'm not religious. I definitely don't partake in the fake guy came back from the dead zombie-like style.
He wasn't fake. Jesus was a real man. How dare you?
I definitely don't partake in that scenario. But I celebrate it anyway because it's a holiday.
If he were to come back, Jesus would be eating his prime rib.
Yeah. And if Jesus were to come back, or if he is living among us right now, and he's listening to this show.
He is.
Okay. I would just tell him, like, why you gotta be an asshole like that and just, disappear for 2,000 years. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, when think about it now, like, if you go on Tinder, I don't, obviously, but if you did, and you're talking to somebody, you go on a first date, and then they ghost you, like, that's annoying enough, right? Like, that was just someone you met once. Think about Jesus. He's supposed to be our savior. He fucking ghosts us for 2,000 years. What an asshole. If he does come back, I'm telling him, I'm not forgiving you for another at least 40 years. You're going in my black book, Jesus. But yeah. Like I said, at the beginning of this movie, or at the beginning of the show, this movie really, it's an Easter movie to the extent that it takes place like on the Easter weekend. There's an Easter bunny, and that's about it. It doesn't really have that much else to do with Easter. Actually, I really think the Easter setting is just a means of getting those eggs into the movie. You know what I mean? Like to explain the fact that there are eggs.
Like I said, I think it's because resurrecting. Like we're resurrecting this plot.
Yeah. The critters are resurrected.
Like the guy was sitting there, like, you devil, you.
Well, so if Critters 2 shouldn't be named the main course, then it should be named like the first supper after the last one. We brought him back.
Still spinach artichoke dip.
Critters 2, the next supper. Yeah, that's all I got really for Critters 2. There's not too much more to say about it. It's one of those movies that you watch it, it kind of happens during the watch. You're like, man, how much longer does this have? And you're only like 35 minutes in. And Like you watch it and there's really, at the end of the movie, you're just like, huh, okay, moving on. It's not one that you think about. It doesn't really have like an like you said, like you could find resurrection themes here if you want to. But it doesn't really have an overarching like theme to it. It's just like small town USA.
Grover Bend in Kansas.
Believe the kid who cried wolf sometimes. That's about it.
All this movie was missing was I was born in a small town.
That should be at the end when it's like zooming out of the town, where it says like we want to thank the people of Grover's Bend for allowing us to film the movie here. Like, he was born in a small town.
Oh, I can't forget where it is I come from. I can't forget. It was Danny Bonaducci singing the song. People.
There you go. That's a good tie-in. It's like, oh, it's Danny Bonaducci's new hit single for the Critters 2 soundtrack. The poor bastard who went out to RCA Records store and was like, yeah, the Critters 2 soundtrack? I was hoping to see if Scott Grimes contributed any original music. I'm a big fan.
He could have been the next Chris Isaac.
Yeah.
What a weekend game. I think we've done more. Your preamble is longer than this discussion.
Yeah, probably was. All right, so we got to rate Critters 2, the main course. So, on a scale of, not meant to be disparaging, but on a scale of Roxanne Kernahan's gigantic bazongas, what would you give Critters 2, the main course?
Like how you preface that. I'd give it a 4.5.
Straight truth right there. I don't know what else you can call it. The cannons. Kernahan cannons. They are, man.
I'd give it a 4.5. This movie's just not that enjoyable. It's not a badly made film by any stretch of the means, but it doesn't have the charm that you would expect in a film like this. Like, part of, Gremlins, when you think about it, isn't intricate, oh my god, what a fucking brilliant idea. It works because it has the charm. It has Phoebe Cates, it has Ralph Macchio, and it's paced well, and they make it work. This doesn't have any of the charm. There's no charm to be found. The humor's incredibly lacking. There's not really any unintentional humor in this either. If a Troll or The Room, where it's so bad it's good. There's none to be found here. This is just a stereotypical, boring, bland, mediocre film. Doesn't do anything wrong, really wrong, but doesn't do anything really right either. And that's a damning thing. 20 minutes into this film, I was thinking, oh my god, fucking watching another Leprechaun film. And that's bad. Because, as we talked about in the years that we've done those films, one of the most damning things about the franchise after the first film is that, holy shit, it's not even bad, it's just incredibly tedious. And this is tedious, and there's no reason for it to be tedious because it's only 85 goddamn minutes long. This does not give me any desire to check out the rest of the Critters films. Does it give me any reason to think that there's anything to be found to be enjoyable out there? This is just a dreadfully dull film. And I hope we never cover it again because there's nothing really here. I'm surprised we stretched this episode out as long as we have so far, to be honest with you.
Man, it's not for lack of trying.
So 4.5.
I would give it, I guess I would probably give it a 5. I don't know. I'm feeling generous. I do think that this movie, like you said, is well made. It has everything going on that you would expect from a horror movie of this caliber. It just is not that interesting to watch. Doesn't have a lot of critters elements to it. With the Kiotos brothers puppeteering, it just doesn't have a lot going on, and it kind of succumbs to the same issues as a lot of the other late 80s, early 90s, like made for video knockoff films. It smacks of like writing that doesn't really understand pacing, and it has a difficult time navigating with what it wants to do with its plot and themes, to the point where I feel like Critters 2, the main course, doesn't really have that many themes. It's just like a movie that happens, and it's basically an offshoot of the first movie. It really doesn't do that much different. It's just, set in it has a fairly different, a very, very different feel to it because of like the bounty hunters element. So it changes it up that way. But other than that, it's really like the same idea as the original Critters. I think there are interesting, some interesting scenes at play, but for the most part, it is really like a mundane movie. I don't think it would really prompt anybody to go check out the rest of the series. It is like the dropping off point too. So like once you get through Critters 2 and get into Critters 3 and 4, you'll see that like that once you watch Critters 4, you'd be like, wow, Critters 2, masterpiece. Really good. Can't believe I disparaged that other film as much as I did. So Critters 2 is like really not the abyss here. But it just is not that great of a movie. But watchable. So that's why I give it a 5. It's middle of the road. Not going to be great, but you can watch it. All right. So that's our Critters 2/Easter episode. We are going to be back, I think, next week with The Batman, because that's going to hit streaming services. It's going to hit HBO Max on the 18th. So we are going to be able to catch that and watch it and cover it for our show.
Better be worth the 3.5 fucking hours.
I know. I'm going to have to set aside like a work day to watch it.
Best meme I've seen from it so far is like Robert Pattinson, like when he finds out he has to find all the Riddler trophies.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it though.
Have you seen some blasphemy? We are old now. You want to know how we're old now? You know how, like, the Nolan films, especially The Dark Knight, were a sacred cow?
Mm-hmm.
No longer sacred cows.
Mm.
I was seeing on the Facebook how people were like, when you look back at them, they're not really that good of a film.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch them again because I haven't watched them since that time. And I did really enjoy them, but I'll have to check them out again.
Well,
and
we
see.
all love The Dark Knight. And I really like the Batman Begins. I really like Batman Begins with Scarecrow and Raish, so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to beat when your best film's The Mask of the Phantasm.
I'm working my way up to that. I'm watching the Batman series right now.
The animated series?
Mm-hmm.
How you liking it?
It's good. I'm only like 13 episodes in, but
so it's just good.
No, I don't know. There are standalone episodes that are really good.
You call yourself a millennial, and you're just saying, "Yeah, the animated series, it's good."
Yeah, like I said, there are standalone episodes that are really good. Then there are standalone episodes that are like, okay, yeah, it was good.
Have you seen the Christmas episode yet?
No, not yet.
Great. It's great.
Yeah, so you'll want to tune in for our episode on the Batman. It's probably going to be 4.5 hours long. But we'll have that for you next week. So we hope to see you back. If you want to be caught up to
real quick,
go for it.
How far away is Grover Bend, Kansas from Liberty, Kansas, where the French Dispatch is?
Oh, I don't know. I would say not that far. Well, maybe it is that far. I don't know.
It sounds like, if anything, like it's Grover Bend's, like probably maybe near the south of Kansas.
Could be.
Because when we have Winnie Cooper talking about potentially where she'd go to college, and the one kid says like, "Oh, I'm up from Kansas, went to Kansas City," and she goes, "Kansas City, KS or Kansas City, Missouri?"
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's probably fairly far to Liberty. All right, so if you want to stay caught up to date on all of our stuff for our next episodes, you should subscribe to us. We're on pretty much any podcasting app that you can think of. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, our home base at anchor.fm. You can use Good Pods now. Somebody on our Twitter turned me on to that. Apparently, our episodes aren't working for download on that. So if you do try to do that and you've found some episode that you can't download, let us know, because I need to look into why that is.
You should be using Podbay, you fucking heathen.
You can use anything.
No.
For me, I don't prefer Podbay. I use different apps. Actually, you know what? I don't listen to podcasts that often, to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't listen to that many podcasts.
Wow. You're one of those people.
I am, but I am glad that other people do so they can listen to us. I listen to some, but I listen to music way more. So that's generally the reason why.
Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Music?
Yep. We are on Facebook and Twitter. You can find us on there. Just search for us, Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We're on Patreon as well, where you can donate to us. Patreon.com/Blood and Black Rum Podcast. Whatever you can send our way, we're going to put it back towards beer. So thanks for fueling our alcoholism. And you can also write to us at bloodandblackrumPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, if we breathe too much. And we can certainly take that into consideration. Thanks for listening. We hope you see you back for our Batman episode. Can't forget the article. The Batman episode next week.
When are we getting Brave and the Bold?
What's that?
When are we getting the Batman film, The Brave and the Bold?
I don't know. All right. So until then,
take care.